Jai Jai Devi Maharaj. Shri Prince Guru Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai. Let us all stand. Let's clasp our hands together, close our eyes, bow our heads. Again, we concentrate our thoughts on that form of Father Krishna, the childlike form of Bhagwan Shri Krishna. And you're offering all your love, your devotion, as well as your imperfections, troubles, difficulties at His lotus-like feet. Vasudevasutam Devam Kansachanuramardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadguru Mukam Karoti Vacharam Pangulam Gayate Giram Yakripadu Mahabande Paramanandamadavam Om Sadhin Murti Saritam Vadinayam Samdriyanadevishya Rayogya Nirapaham Yaditani Japani Janmam Charitani Cha Kani May I, on behalf of members of the Shri Parameshwari Durga Devi Ashram Incorporated, on behalf of myself and my family, on behalf of our management team, extend a most cordial welcome to our ongoing Bhagawat Puran Maha Yagya. Tonight we continue to look at various discourses from the pages of the Srimad Bhagavatam. And just as last night was a lesson on how you should approach God, a lesson in bhakti, tonight it will be a lesson in introspection, self-analysis. And with the blessings of the spring game, we're going to learn identify those things that threaten our existence and how to deal with it. And not just deal with it, but how to triumph over it. So before we go into the depths of tonight's discourse, let us clasp our hands together. Let us concentrate on that childlike form of Bhagavan Shri Krishna. We seek the blessings of Bhagavan Ganapati, he who is the giver of success, the remover of all obstacles, and is always first and foremost amongst the host of the Devatas. We seek the blessings of Devi Saraswati, through whose blessings our intelligence are open. We seek the blessings of our most reverend Guru, he who is the link between humanity and divinity, and to our presiding deity of this Yagya. We surrender ourselves to the feet of the Supreme Being, Bhagavan Shri Krishna. Nityam dhyayanti yogina kamada moksharam chaiva omkaraya namo namaha. Om vakratunda mahakaya koti surya samam pradva nirvignam kuru me deva sarvakaye shu sarvara saraswati mahabhage vidya kamala virochani vidyarupe vishalakshe vidyadehi namostute. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara, Gurur Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Mukam Karoti Varcharam, Pangolangayate Giram, Yakripatu Mahapande Paramanandamadhavam. Sagar Sthiti Vinashanam Jagatoyo Jagamayaha Mulabhuto Namastasmai Shri Vishnuve Paramatmane Namastute. Om Devaki Nandan Vedamahe Vasudevaya Dhimahi Tanno Krishna Prachodayat. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Namaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Namaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Namaha. Praise the Guru Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai. So again, welcome to our ongoing Yagya and tonight's discourse in particular. Tonight's program is divided into two parts. We have this part here now, which is our reading of Bhagawat Puran, and then a little later we'll have Guru Puja, Guru Purnima celebrations. Alright, but everything will be kept within the time that you are accustomed to. So, in tonight's discourse, we are going to look at Bhagavan Shri Krishna and how he protected his devotees in Vrindavan. So, take your mind from here and let us go to Vrindavan. And a situation has developed here which is of great concern to the adults. At this time, Bhagavan Shri Krishna is about 6-7 years old. And what a child 6, 7 years old like to do? Huh? Play. Right? Children at that age, they like to play. But remember, Krishna Bhagavan is no ordinary child. He is the Supreme Lord playing a leela on the face of the earth, in which he is using those activities of his pastimes, to teach us important lessons. So Bhagavan Shri Krishna, after they have had breakfast and so on, with his friends, the lookout boys and so on of Vrindavan, they made their way outside. And they decide to play with a ball on this occasion. Many different types of games they used to play, but this time they take up a ball and they're going to play with it. But Bhagavan, who knows the mind and the hearts of all of his devotees, he's also observing a little distance from where he and the boys gather to play. There is a panchayat. What is a panchayat? The elders of the village, they will gather and discuss problems they are having and try to come up with solutions to it. Alright? So, Bhagavan Shri Krishna recognized, just a little distance from where he was, that the elders of the village, the adults, both men and women, they have gathered there, and there is a very, very serious look on their face. And there's a very worried and troublesome look. The two voices they are speaking to each other with is one of uncertainty. A great calamity had fallen on Vrindavan. What was the cause of this calamity? And why was it causing them so much of heartache? Let us hear what Devi has to tell us. Shri Krishna Sharanam Namah, 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 Shri Krishna Praise the Guru Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki Jai. So in Vrindavan, Vrindavan, even up to today, is an agriculture community. Okay? And like all agriculture communities, they depend on a source of water. Isn't that so? Whether it's animals or whether it's crops, they depend on a source of water. And the main source of water, even up to today in Vrindavan, is the Yamuna. And so, the Yamuna River provided for all the needs for the village to thrive and prosper. And this has been going on for hundreds and thousands of years. But today it is different. Why? Kalia Sarpa, that black snake, had taken up residence in that Yamuna River. And the name of that snake is Kalia Nag. He is described as having 100 heads. Now, in Hindu theology, Nagas are both positive as well as negative. For example, you have Vishnu and Sheshnag, and that same Sheshnag came as Lakshman in this time in Balaram. Okay? He's one of the good ones. Around the neck of Shiva, you have who? Huh? You have Vasuki. He was used in the churning of the ocean. This one here, Kalyana, he's not too much on the good side at all. Alright? So where he go, death and destruction usually follows. So on this occasion, he takes up residence in the waters of the Yamuna. And so toxic is his poison that even when he's resting and he's breathing out, poison is flowing out of his mouth. And because he has 100 heads, the poison that leaks into the Yamuna is highly significant. And the villagers have gathered here now discussing that Yamuna, since Kalyana had taken up residence in Yamuna, they notice things are happening, bad things are happening. Now in the days of Shri Krishna, nobody had indoor plumbing. So nobody had showers, nobody had sink. How they was to get water? They was to go to the river and with their pot and they was to draw water. Even when they have to bathe and wash clothes, they would go to the banks of the river and there they would be washing their clothes and they would bathe and so on. So Vrindavan in those days was a traditional agriculture community. So the elders of the village, they are discussing this Kalyana is so terrible and so humongous, none of them could fight him. And Kalya, by his mere presence in the water became undrinkable. So now the residents, the only source of water they had, potable water, usable water, the only source of water they had becomes contaminated, polluted with poison. Come up in front here. And not only is the human suffering, Vrindavan was known mainly for cows. Even up to today too, it is known mainly for cows. And when the animals would go to drink from the Yamuna, they would die. The fields of Vrindavan grew a lot of vegetables and a lot of fruits. Now I want you to pay attention to what Vyas does not write anything by accident. He does not waste time with words. When he mentions something, it's because it has great meaning. You have to look beyond the physical word. Alright, you have to look at the philosophy of it. So he's telling you, first of all, the water itself became unfit for human consumption. And now he's telling you, the animals, the cows in particular, they were dying when they drink the water. And now he tells you the fruits and the vegetables, when when the farmers water the fields of Vrindavan with the water from the Yamuna, the crops are dying, the trees are dying. So everything now is dying. The water becomes so toxic and so polluted, the birds that fly above, over the Yamuna, inhaling the air from over the Yamuna and cause them to drop dead. You know, sometimes when they go to agriculture communities and the farmers spray, sometimes they just get sent at the chemical, even if you far away. Because similarly, the poison coming from Kalia was so toxic that even the atmosphere, the air above the Yamuna River would carry the fumes of the poison. And the birds and so on would die. And Sri Krishna himself realized that if something is not done, all of Vrindavan would die, or they would have to abandon this place and go somewhere else to live. So Bhagavan, who knows the hearts of his devotees, he's feeling the pain of his devotees, he's feeling the concern, he's aware of their troubles and difficulties. And he's looking on at how they are handling the situation. They are coming together and constructively putting their ideas together of how to come about the solution to the problem. But this Kaliya is so powerful, it is beyond any ordinary human being to subdue him. Up until now, the only person Kaliya was afraid of was Garuda. And one of the reasons why he came to the Yamuna was to hide from Garuda. You all know who is Garuda, right? Garuda is the bird that Lord Vishnu rides. So with the exception of Garuda, Kaliya was not afraid of anybody, even the Devatas. So Kaliya Nag, he took up residence in the waters of the Yamuna, and death and destruction started to spread all around. Bhagavan Shri Krishna, seeing the concern and see the environmental impact, not only on the human beings and the animals and so on, but he's seen the environmental impact throughout. Wherever the waters of the Yamuna runs, it will also carry that pollution there. So it is not only a problem for the residents of Vrindavan, wherever the Yamuna, all the different communities, that pollution will also go there, and the problem will also eventually go in those areas. And just like the residents of Vrindavan, what they are experiencing, the other communities will start to suffer in the same way too. So Bhagavan Shri Krishna realized that one, it has to be contained, and secondly, it has to be solved. So what did he decide to do? Let us hear. Shri Krishna Sharanam Namah, 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 Shri Krishna Shri Krishna Praise the Guru Vrindavan Hari Lal ki Jai. So Bhagavan Shri Krishna, what he was doing before he started to observe the panchayat, he was going to play with his friends. And what he is going to play with? So what game he is going to play now? World Cup? Huh? No. So he decided to play. You know, when we were going to school, we had a game called Scooch. Yeah, so that's where he was going to play. Alright? And so he takes the ball, and you all know how the game is going. That changed from since then to now. You have to try and hit the person next to you, and the person has to try to dodge the ball. Alright? So, when was Bhagavan Krishna turned now to tell somebody with the ball? He used that as the opportunity, the excuse. What he do? He purposely missed his friends, and he threw the ball with such a force. Where did he think it go? In the waters of the Yamuna. And seeing, now one of the rules they had in the game was, whoever threw the ball off in a far off distance, wherever it would, that person had to go and get it. Alright? So here it is Bhagavan Krishna, he threw the ball into the Yamuna. But everybody at this point in time knows the Yamuna has poison in it, this is not safe to go. Everybody knows Yamuna has Kalyana living in it. Alright? So they become very scared. Because they think that ball will now go and hit Kalyana and he will get up and he will try to kill everybody inside now. Alright? So they're thinking about it. So Krishna said, I'm going for the ball. And his friends now are trying to convince him, Krishna, no, don't go. Leave it, we'll play our next game. And no matter how much the little boys try to tell Krishna, don't go into the waters. Well, no, Bala Krishna, little Krishna was a bit naughty, right? And that was one of the childhood leaders. He was used to attract the minds of the devotee. So he decided, I'm going to get the ball. And what he did, on the banks of the Yamuna, there is the Kadamba tree is growing. So he climbed up the Kadamba tree. And from the Kadamba tree, he dived into the water. And as he dived into the water, he went down to the floor of the river. Remember, he's the Supreme Lord. He can stay underwater how long he wants. Alright? So, going down to the bottom of the river now, there he sees Kalyana with his wives fast asleep. And he's observing that as Kalyana sleeps, from the sides of his mouth the poison was oozing. The Yamuna, which at one time had a lot of life in it, a lot of fish and turtle and all different type of aquatic creatures, when Krishna looked around, he sees the skeleton of all of those things. He's not seen anything living in the water anymore. And so what did Bhagavan Krishna did? He spots the ball right where Kalyana is sleeping. Again, he uses the ball as an excuse. And so he goes to pick up the ball, But what did he do? You know, like some of the little boys and the little hardened boys, when they would do something, they just make a little mischief first. Bhagavan Krishna did that. So Kalya sleeping, so he go to provoke him now. So he took a little piece of a reed from or something that was growing and has dried a bit, and put in him with the eye. You find out that waking him up. So he go on and take his foot and he started stamping on the table. All of you here at some point in time you kill a snake, right? Huh? Especially those of you who are farmers and so on, and you get a little snake and you know when you hit a snake, how it is ring up and all that kind of thing. So he started stomp Kalyan. Every stomp he made, the blow was harder and harder. Till Kalyan, he opened his eyes and he started to twitch up his tail and so on. And as he opened his eyes and he seen Krishna there, he's thinking, I have a meal in front of me. I don't have to go hunting today. Food come to me. Home delivery service. So he's thinking that he's getting a meal in front of him. And so Bhagavan Shri Krishna, he starts to play with Kalya. But in the process of what appears to be play, he starts to beat Kalya in different ways. So at one point in time, now Kalya is a huge snake. And as in like anaconda them. How does those big type of snake hunt? What they do there with the prey? They coil it up, right? So Kalya, he coils up around Bhagavan Shri Krishna. And he tried to squeeze him and Krishna just expanded himself and he just opened all the coils. And then after he keeps stomping on his tail, he started to stomp on his midway up. And Kalya trying all how to coil up and stinging him all out, biting him all out. And while Kalya was biting him, starts to bite him and so on, what do you think was happening on top, in the Yamuna, on the banks of the Yamuna? By this time, the boys have noticed blood was coming up from the water. And when Krishna is down to the bottom, so they see little streams of blood coming up. Now they assuming it was Kalya is biting Krishna and Krishna is throwing blows at Kalya. So they don't know who blood it is. They assume Krishna is dead. And so the boys, they all started panic and go along the place and cry and so on. And a few of them ran into the direction of Nanda and Yashoda, and where the Panchayat was having their meeting, and they informed the elders. They ran to them and said, Nanda Baba, Yashoda Mata, Kanha has jumped into the Yamuna. He hasn't come out as yet, but we are seeing blood coming up. And as the mother heard that, what do you think she's having to her? She fainted away one time. Yashoda Mata fainted one time. Recomposing herself, all the elders now forget about the meeting, they move away from their meeting. And the boys lead them to the exact spot where Krishna jumped off the tree into the water. And now they are seeing the blood, streaks of blood coming up. And all of them are starting to panic. All of them are starting to cry. And they are shouting, Krishna, Krishna, Kanha, where are you? And while that is happening there, all except one person was calm and composed. Who was that person? was the person? Balaram. Very good. Balaram alone knows what Krishna was up to, and he knows Krishna in reality. So while everybody was there panicking and crying, Balaram was trying to keep the peace and giving them the assurance that Krishna is okay. But if somebody is telling you Krishna is okay, but you see blood now, and you see no Krishna around, what do you think? What you could think? Who you could believe? You could believe a little boy, or you could believe what you're seeing? Huh? So despite the efforts of Balaram, there was panic on the banks of the Yamuna. And so the fight between Krishna and Kaliya continues. Let us hear what happens. Shri Krishna Sharanam Namah. Shri Krishna Sharanam Namah.
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 Shri Krishna Sharanam Namah. Shri Krishna Sharanam
So welcome to John and his group to our satsang tonight. So Krishna, so all panic on the banks of the Yamuna on top. Underneath the war, the fight between Krishna and Kaliya continues. And so lots of blows are being traded with each other. Kaliya using his 100 heads to bite Lord Krishna, and Krishna in turn delivering some very powerful blows all over the body of Kaliya, until it reached that point where Kaliya himself, he fell unconscious, could not sustain the fight anymore. He fell unconscious by the power of Bhagwan Shri Krishna. So he thought that this little boy was, what he thought it was? Food. Food was, he didn't have to go hunting. You see this little boy in front of him, he thought he was going to get a meal today. But you know, sir, not everything, sometimes when you think you're going to eat a meal, the meal ends up eating you. Huh? Not everything good for you, like your back, you know. Not everything you like your back. So, Bhagwan Krishna, he subdues Kalyan under his feet. And Krishna raised his hand to deliver a fatal blow when the wives of Kalyan, they came together and they said, oh Bhagwan, we recognize you are the Supreme Narayan, and we are begging you to spare the life of our husband. And so they are the ones who are begging for the life of Kalyan. And they surrender defeat to Bhagwan Shri Krishna. Hey Prabhu Sharanai, be merciful upon us. Forgive my husband for what he has done. And so Kalyan now, in a state of repentance, he is recalling. He says, no one can defeat me. I worship Mahadev, and therefore I know you are not Mahadev. I know of Garud, but you are not Garud. You must be Narayan in this child form. And so look at where he had to go through. He had to get a good cocktail to realize who this child was. And we look at the philosophy behind all of this. So after Shri Krishna subdued him, because of the surrender, because of the plea of the wives of Kalyan, and Kalyan himself realizing and his repentance, and if this is a word in the Western world, we like to use repent plenty, right? And when they say you repent, the very next day we're not going to be saying stupidness. That is not repenting, Mama Guy. Repentance means that you realize, you come to the realization you have transgressed or you have made an error, and you are now willing to correct that error and not to repeat that mistake again. That is repentance. Not what some people pretend to do every year and say they're repenting, right? And then they're going back and doing the same craziness all over again. So Kalyan, he repented, his wives pleaded for his life. Krishna, who is merciful by nature. And coincidentally, you know how Vyas records this particular topic? Not the defeat of Kalyan, he records the deliverance of Kalyan. And so Krishna says, O Kalyan, I will spare you. But you will have to remain humble at all times. And if you let your pride get the better of you at any point in time, I will destroy myself. And so he's pleading with Bhagavan that, oh Lord, I give you my word. I will not let my pride, my ego, cause destruction to anyone around. And so Bhagavan Shri Krishna says, O Kalyan, in order to subdue your ego completely, take me up to the surface on your head. And so Bhagavan Shri Krishna, he stands on the head of Kalyan. And what happens? Let us hear. Shri Krishna Sharanam Namah. Shri Krishna Sharanam Namah.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Namah. Shri Krishna Sharanam Namah.
Principal Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki Jai. So, Kalya Nag was a very toxic being. We all agree on that, right? So, in other words, habits. What was the secret of why Krishna wanted to dance on him and in reality trample on his head? He's a very toxic person. He has habits. If you have bad habits, let me say you're a drug addict, does confessing you are a drug addict enough to cure you of that habit? Huh? No. More than likely, without therapy, without medication, and without guidance, structured guidance, you are going to do the same thing. So I can tell you, yes, I am going to do this again. But if there is no mechanism around to lend support to that idea or that pledge, you're going to go back into it again. And Krishna knows this. Krishna asked him, you must humble your ego. He said yes. But Krishna is going to make sure he keeps his word. So what does Krishna do? He's now on top of Kalya. Kalya, how much heads he have? Earlier on, how much heads does he already have? 100 heads. Alright? So those 100 heads represent different habits, different traits. Alright? Different negative traits. So Krishna is dancing, jumping from one head to another, and while he's jumping, when you're dancing, what you do is stamp your feet a little bit, right? So in other words, he's beating out the bad habit from within him. But when he jumps in one head, the other head still have it again, still trying to snap at him. And sometimes if you see picture of Krishna dancing in Kalya Nag, you will see that while he's dancing on one, the other head trying to grab him and thing. And so Kalya starts to rise from while that happening, it started under the water. And as Krishna keeps dancing on him gradually, little by little Kalya starts to rise, but Krishna continues to dance. Krishna knows there is chaos all around and everybody is assuming the worst now. As Kalya continues to rise little by little and continues to dance, he continues to dance on the head of Kalya. What did he do? Vedyas tells us he takes the murali and he places it on his lips. He takes the basuri and he puts it on his lips. And as he dances, he continues to blow and plays the flute. And from under the water, the melody starts rising. And it brought calm. Because that flute is only only Bhagavan Krishna could play it that way. It had an enchanting melody to it that the animals would become mesmerized. The birds would become mesmerized. People would become mesmerized. So right away, Bhagavan Krishna, he calmed the mind and the hearts of all of his devotees. And as that flute, that basuri, the music of that basuri continues to flow, it recreated. Remember when Kalyan moved into Yamuna, everything became toxic, everything became deadly. So that tranquility was lost. So now that the flute, Bhagavan Shri Krishna is playing the flute, the tranquility starts to come back. And as Krishna continues to dance he's stomping on the head of Kalyana, he's stomping on the ego, until eventually Kalya gets so exhausted. The other heads stop trying to fight, to snap at Krishna, and they all just allow themselves to be, just to exist in the moment, and let the Lord do what he has to do. And then we keep going back and forth on all of the heads, back and forth. And by this time now, he has broken the surface of the water and he has risen. And all is now an amaze. They are looking, they are no longer here, but they are actually seeing Bhagavan Krishna dancing on the head of Kalya. And while that was happening there in the heavens, all the devatas, they gathered to watch this dance of the Lord on this serpent that very few of them could defeat. In the beginning I told you, Kalya was afraid only of Garuda. He wasn't afraid of anybody else. Actually, he came to the Yamuna to hide from Garuda, because Garuda's hunted him down. And as he continues to dance now, there is no more resistance. He's just existing in the moment. And the feet of Bhagavan Krishna has been back and forth in the various heads. And the devatas, on the banks, you have the devotees, they are looking on. The inhabitants of Vrindavan, the animals, all of them are looking around in amazement. And in the heavens, the devatas, they all gathered. And they are looking at the Lord dancing, how he has subdued this dangerous serpent. They start to shower flowers. Indradev and Bhagavan Shiva, they put the divine shank on their mouth. And they start to blow that divine shank. And it sets up an atmosphere of divinity. Prem se bolo Vrindavan Vihari Lal ki jai. And the flowers keep falling from the heavens. And so all of the inhabitants of Vrindavan now, they are no longer scared, they are no longer frightened. And so, at the end of the dance, Kalya brought Krishna to the surface, to the bank. And he gives instructions. He says, "Oh Kalya, you cannot stay here." And he sends him away. And says, "From today onwards, the dust of my feet is now on your head." Garuda would not. Garuda would recognize it and he will not. He will not be a threat to you anymore. Go and live in peace. And let us live in peace. Let the residents of Vrindavan live in peace. So this is why Vedas labeled or named this episode the deliverance of Kalya. Now let us try to examine what this Kalya is. What is this Kalya? The name of Kalya Nag means literally means black serpent, black snake. Remember in the very beginning I told you, every word Vedas writes is full full of meaning. He didn't write any word by accident. So if you choose to write flowing waters, there's something he wants you to understand here. If he writes animals, cows, he wants you to understand that there is some meaning behind that word. If he mentions trees and flowers and so on, he wants you to understand that there is a meaning behind those things. So we're going to go back to the beginning now to get the meaning of all of this. So Vrindavan, the Yamuna river represents the life-sustaining force. Your life. What is a river made up of? Mainly, not water. And water is the life force of everything on this earth. Without water, Earth will be like another one of those planets out in space. Alright? So, water is life. And Bhagwan Vedas says, Kalyanad takes up residence in the Yamuna. This Kalyanad represents your ego. It represents the calm, the cruel, the low, the moha, the ahankar. All the possible negative traits, the lust, the greed, the anger, the hatred. Every head of Kalyanad represents a different negative emotion. And when you allow those emotions to take up residence in your life becomes toxic. You become toxic. And when you become toxic, nobody wants to be around you. Anything you come in contact with is either bacchanal, is either confusion, is quarrel. Nobody will like you. That is why Vedas, when he writes, he said the cows die. What is the symbolism of cows in this circumstances? Cows in Sanatana Dharma has many meanings. Cows here represents virtue. So once a person who is dominated by lust and greed and anger and so on, the virtue leaves them. They have no virtue within them. Then he mentions the waters become so toxic, the animals, when they drink from it, they will die. Meaning you become so toxic, nobody wants to be around you. So if you are a toxic person at home, nobody likes you at home. They can't wait to leave the house to get away from you. So that is why I tell you today is about self-analysis. Last time we looked at how to approach Bhagwan. Tonight we are looking at how to introspect, analyze ourselves. If you are a toxic person at the work environment, nobody likes you. So your life is toxic. You are toxic. There is no virtue in you. Vedas mentioned the fruits and the vegetables all died because of the water, the polluted waters that were being used to irrigate the crops. Fruits and vegetables represents stages of successes in your life. The fruits of your labor. The end product of the goal. The final goal of your achievement. A toxic person destroys their own achievement. And when they destroy their own achievement, the other point Vedas mentioned, when the birds would fly above the water of the Yamuna, the fumes of that toxic poison will cause the birds to die. So no matter how high you soar, once you are a toxic person, you are going to fall, and you will fall to the extent where you will never recover again. And who is responsible for you becoming a toxic person? Huh? Who is responsible for that? Who is responsible for you becoming a lustful person, or angry person, or greedy person? Who is responsible for those things? Yourself. So when you allow those poison to settle within you, you become a very toxic person, destroying every other life around you. Every interaction is a burden for others around you. And if you're in a position of authority, people fear you. And they will only do what you say because of your position. And how did Shri Krishna meet Kalyana when he went into the Yamuna? Was he actively awake or was he asleep? Sleep. That sleeping snake is a symbol of ignorance. And that ignorant person is not aware. When you're sleeping, you're not aware of what's going on around you. So that sleeping person, that ignorant person, is not aware that he or she is toxic. And the ignorance, when, again, reflecting what I just told, when Kalyana was sleeping, what Krishna observed was oozing from his mouth. Poison. So because he's so ignorant, he doesn't even realize that. You know, there are some people, they're so ignorant and they believe whatever they say is right and it's either their way or no way. And if they can't get their way, they mash up everything. Huh? And we all know people like that. Sometimes we just have to face scenarios like that ever so often. And so, that unconscious or that sleeping Kalyana represents the state of ignorance of someone who has that degree of toxicity within them. And so, when somebody puts across now a different idea, that idea conflicts with what you believe in, isn't that so? So that is the battle between Krishna and Kalyana. Krishna represents Satya, truth. Kalya represents Asatya, that which is untruth, ignorant, deluding. And notice, Bhagavan Krishna took a while to subdue Kalyana, not because he was a difficult opponent. When Krishna managed to subdue him, he gets him to admit that he was wrong and to make amends of his to change his life. So sometimes we get ourselves in situations that we have to reflect the way we do things, the way we conduct our daily living. Sometimes, and I have the experience on many occasions, people will come to me and when they sit in my office and we start to talk, they say, well, this situation, you have to change this, or you have to do this different and so on. Some of them will listen and they will do it, some of them will not. And so, the fight between Krishna is a fight between ideologies now. Krishna and Kalyana. And as you say, Satyameva Vijaya, the truth will always prevail. Krishna managed to subdue Kalya represents that when you get yourself in such a position and you really need the help, first of all, you have to admit you have a problem. Like the analogy I use, sometimes if you're an alcoholic or a drug abuser, you have to go to these rehab programs. And the rehab program is not a 1 day or 2 day session. Sometimes you have to do you have to do courses that will last months. For some people, they will have to do it ever so often in order to stay sober or drug free. And in those programs, and those support groups, and those therapy type groups, coping mechanisms are taught to you. Ideas of lifestyle changes and so on are imparted to you. So first you have to admit that there is a problem. That's why Krishna get Kalyana to confess. To promise that he will subdue his ego. But notice Krishna didn't take his word. So Krishna, what he did, he put a mechanism in place where Kalyana will have the support to get rid of his toxic nature. And that was the dance that Krishna was doing on the head. Because instinctively, when he starts dancing on one head, the other head snapping at him. That is what he used to do all the time. Habits are hard to break. If you grow up in a particular way, doing a particular thing in a particular way, and somebody tell you have to change that methodology and do it a different way, it's going to take you a longer period of time to make that adjustment. Isn't that so? All of you have this experience. So, Bhagavan Krishna, he gave that dance of Shri Krishna is really the coping mechanism by keep stamping on the heads, the different heads. That 100 head represents the different vices. And Krishna stamping on it, is driving it low and getting rid of it from you. And the more you purge yourself that, the more humble, the more the ego, you shrink the ego, and the more the smaller the ego becomes, the more humble you become. Until it reaches a point where Kalyanath, instead of trying to instinctively fight back, he just allowed the mercy of the Lord to flow through him. So this is like if you're going to a different therapy, and therapy here doesn't have to mean drug abuse or alcohol abuse, even family in crisis, or any kind of situation where you need counseling or some kind of informed opinion to help shape or help you make a better choice. And not because you are in some kind of therapy session means to say you are a weak person. Actually, it's the opposite. Any psychologist will tell you it takes a strong person to admit they have a problem and to work on it. The cowards are the ones that run away from it, pretending that it doesn't exist. It is the strong ones that admit there's a problem and something has to be done. And sometimes that change in mentality makes the difference whether you recover. If you're in a family situation, it can mean the difference between divorce and saving your marriage. So when Kalyana now instinctively stops snapping, the head stops snapping at Krishna as Krishna continues to dance. The grace of the Lord is starting to flow through him. He's starting to absorb the different changes that have to take place in his life. And what did Krishna do? He continues to dance and he starts to rise gradually from the Yagya. So he was in the depths of darkness. Then he starts to rise gradually. He's seen results from the therapy. He's seen results from the workshops and so on. He's seen results from the changes. But it's still at a fragile state. So to give encouragement now to the person who is going through that, who needs that kind of assistance, what the Lord decides to do, he decides to play the flute. And what the flute produces, it produces a melody. So it's what does the melody? It flows in harmony with nature. So the Lord now tries to make those new things that you are learning with His blessings part of your daily life, your new habits then. So those things that will help you progress, those things that will help you succeed, those things will help you become a better human being all around, will now become not a pretend type of change, but a genuine change from within. And that takes time, it takes effort, it takes a lot of hard committed work. Until eventually he breaks through the surface and he's now dancing on the head of Kalya without any resistance from Kalya himself, and all of the devotees are looking on. That same Kalya which they feared a moment ago, they didn't want to go anywhere near the Yamuna. Now they are looking at him. They are just feet away from him, a few feet away from him, not a few feet, a few feet away from him. Alright? So it shows that when you become transformed with the help of God, with the guidance of the Guru, with the help of whatever mechanisms around you, to bring about positive changes, that once toxic person now becomes socially accepted and is now become accepted in society, in home, in the whichever environment you interact with. And not only the inhabitants of Vrindavan, even the devatas, they celebrate. That is why the showering of the flowers and the blowing of the shank and the different celestial instruments, they celebrate the transformation that has taken place. And when you have transformed your life like that, not only you benefit, and look at the end product. Krishna tells Kalya, my dust is on your head, Garuda will not harass you anymore. So once the effort is genuine, the Lord gives you this assurance. You are going to succeed, you will succeed under all circumstances. And everybody, whether it's the celestial beings in the heaven or the devotees of Vrindavan, they all celebrate this achievement, this transformation Kalya had undergone. Prem se bolo Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki Jai. How many of you could relate to tonight's katha? And this is something all of you just go through at some point in time. Some of us in an extreme way where we have to get outside assistance, meaning we have to go to therapy. But this is something human beings go through every day in the home, in our workplace, in our school, in our social groups. And here Bhagwan has given a very practical way of how to handle these situations. So again, look at it. Vedas tells you you are a product of your environment. Be careful of those who you socialize with. Be careful of the type of habits you inculcate. Not everybody who encourages you to do or behave in a particular way have your best interests at heart. And if you allow bad habits to set in, you'll take pains, a lot of pain and transformation and time and effort on your part to break those habits. So don't give it room to take root in your life in the first place. That is the purpose of our scripture. That is the purpose of forums like this, where you can use the information to make the necessary changes in your daily life. Praise the Lord, Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki Jai. Before I hand over to John and other group members, you all have any questions? You want me to clarify anything to you? Everybody okay? All like this katha? Right. Very transformative, right? So tomorrow night we'll be doing Govardhan Puja. Everybody, it's a night of offering. You come and do your Govardhan Puja. You bring your target fruits. You bring your milk to offer on the Govardhan itself. Alright? And we will, as soon as Puja finish, we will have all devotees will get a chance to come up and do Govardhan Puja. If possible, use a lot of yellow flowers and tulsi leaves. That's the color of Bhagwan Krishna. You must have tulsi in your offering to Bhagwan Krishna. Alright? So come take advantage, and like I told you, Gopalan Puja is a very protective puja. Tomorrow we'll hear how it goes about doing those things. So we go over to John, others.
Krishna Krishna Kripalu Tonamiti Namamiti Sansara देखो वृंदावन में कुंजलनी में नाचे नंद कुमार देखो वृंदावन में कुंजलनी में नाचे नंद कुमार मैया Krishna
So while at this point in time we'll have Guru Puja being performed. For those of you who wish to come up and do Guru Puja, you can do so. And while that is taking place, we'll have bhajans accordingly from John and Luke. Maybe can do a bhajan to another.
ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानेन्द्रक्षराः चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। अखण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्परं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। गुरु ब्रह्मा गुरु विष्णु गुरुदेव महेश्वर गुरु साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे हर 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 महादेव हर 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 महादेव हर 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 महादेव हर 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 महादेव गुरु माता पिता गुरु गुरु माता पिता गुरु बंधु सकाते चरणों में स्वामी कोटि प्रणाम।
राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे 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 राधे
Hare Guru Paya Lagaye Guru Paya Lagaye
Sitaram, Namaste. On the event of Guru Purnima today, we like to extend a very warm wish and greeting to our Guruji, Acharya Pundit Vishnu Maharaj. Also on behalf of all members of the Shri Parameshwari Durga Devi Ashram, all his disciples, all his godchildren, all his well-wishers, we like to extend gratitude to you, Guruji, for imparting such knowledge to us that serves to elevate us and take us a step closer to God realization. So this session here would not be too long, just a few minutes. But we have this is very special. We are going to share this today, and especially all the godchildren will be very happy to benefit from this. So this is called the disciplic succession of Guruji. Disciplic succession of Guru Parampara, also known as the lineage of Guruji. Now many of us know Guruji, but we don't know where he came from. So today we'll find out a little bit. First of all, I'm going to explain what is disciplic succession of Guru Parampara. Disciplic succession is an unbroken chain of spiritual masters who descends on this earth to pass on unaltered transcendental knowledge to humanity. So I just want to go over that a little bit. It is an unbroken chain of spiritual masters who descends on this earth to pass on unaltered transcendental knowledge to humanity. That means God is passing information from above using the bona fide spiritual masters to bring this information, this transcendental knowledge to us through the means of the gurus. Now, unlike our humans, what we do, if I were to tell someone something now, if that information has to be passed, by the time it reaches like 2, 3 people, maybe just one, that information is changed. Not so? So, what Shri Krishna is saying here, that is why we have to respect our bona fide spiritual masters, because they are bringing forth pure, immaculate information to us. That is the only thing that is going to transform our lives and take us into self-realization and God-realization. So today, we are going to share the lineage of Guruji, but this is by no means the beginning of his lineage. This is as far as we could have gotten, as far as the information we could have gotten. So from here, come down, is all the gurus that Guruji have had above him. So to help us with this, I will ask Nick and Visham to come forward. So we begin with Tota Puri Baba.
Sitaram. So I'll begin with Tota Puri Baba. Tota Puri Baba is a Naga Swami of the Puri sect. Despite being a wandering ascetic, he spent 11 months with the Ramakrishna Paramahansa at the famous Dakshineshwar Mandir temple in Calcutta, India. There, he taught Ramakrishna Paramahansa the philosophy of Advaita, as well as helped him experience Nirvakalpa Samadhi. Tota Puri Baba lived for 250 years.
Next in line in the succession, you will see two, a lady and two great twins, Ramakrishna Paramahansa and Sarada Devi. Ramakrishna Paramahansa was a Hindu mystic and priest at the Dakshineshwar Hindu Kali temple. He was married to Sarada Devi. His teachings are compiled in the Bengali classic, The Gospel of Ramakrishna, which is well known throughout the West and in India throughout. The intensity of his devotion was so great that the Divine Mother would manifest herself before him at the Dakshineshwar Kali temple. Trianga Swami, the great yogi and mystic of Kashi, known for his extraordinary spiritual powers, lived for 280 years and had a profound impact on Ramakrishna's life. These two were amongst India's greatest mystics and spent time with each other on several occasions in the holy city of Kashi. The Ramakrishna mission and Ramakrishna Mat were pivotal in spreading Vedantic ideology and practices in the West, notably in the United States of America, where Swami Vivekananda, one of his great disciples, gave the highly acclaimed speech at the World's Parliament of Religion in Chicago in the year 1893.
Next in line, we have Swami Brahmananda. He was the first president of the Ramakrishna Mat and the Ramakrishna Mission. Under his leadership, the order expanded vastly in India and abroad. Considered by Ramakrishna as his spiritual son, and along with Swami Vivekananda, were amongst the most beloved by Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. Prior to their meeting, the Divine Mother showed Ramakrishna in a vision that Swami Brahmananda is his spiritual son. In their first meeting, Ramakrishna identified him as one of the cowherd boys of Vrindavan during Lord Krishna's divine leelas.
Next in succession, Swami Vireshwananda. He's the 10th president of the Ramakrishna Math and Ramakrishna Mission. He traveled throughout India spreading the message of the Ramakrishna Vivekananda movement and served until he died in 1985. He received his monastic vows from Swami Brahmananda on the 12th of January 1920. He was the president of the Advaita Ashram in 1927. He held a Bachelor of Arts from the Presidency College of Madras, and he also studied at Madras Chennai Law College.
And next in succession is no stranger to us. You all would know Guruji's guru, who is Swami Brahma Swarupananda. He was initiated into sannyas at the Ramakrishna mission and received his monastic vows from Swami Videshwarananda in the Ramakrishna Vivekananda tradition. Born during the period of Kartik Purnima in the holy city of Kashi, India, Pitadesh and founder of Brahma Vidya Peetham International West Indies, coordinator to the Caribbean region and European zone for the World Council of Hindus. He had an honorary doctorate from the Maharishi European Research University of Switzerland. He has a Master of Science and Philosophy in the University of Agra, and he has a Bachelor of Education from Calcutta University.
Well, as we all know, Swami Brahma Swarupananda is Guruji's guru, Pundit Vishnu Maharaj. He's an author, he's a Vedic astrologer, parapsychologist, theologian, philosopher, Hindu marriage officer. He was initiated by, he studied under and influenced by Pandit Shankar Maharaj of Bihar, India, Swami Sant Keshavadas of Bangalore, India, and Swami Brahma Swarupananda of Kashi, India, of the Ramakrishna Vivekananda tradition. He was born into a Brahmanical lineage. He was initiated by his grandfather, Pandit Shankar Maharaj of Bihar, India, into formal Pandit training at the tender age of 6 years old. That is where our Guru started his training. He is the founder of the Shri Parameshwari Durga Devi Ashram and the Narayan Seva unit, the charity arm of the ashram. He is the founder of the annual Devi Ratha Yatra festival, which travels throughout various communities in Trinidad and the West Indies. He has a Bachelor of Science degree in Chemistry from the University of the West Indies and a Bachelor of Education from the University of Trinidad and Tobago. So at the age of 6, our Guru, Acharya Pundit Vishnu Maharaj, he started officially Pandit training under his grandfather, who came from Bihar in the state of India. He studied with him until his teenage years, until his passing. Thereafter, well, most of you here will be familiar with Swami Sant Keshavadas, one of the first Swamis that ventured to come to Trinidad. And under him, he had studied throughout his teenage years. Afterwards, in his early 20s, around there, if I was not mistaken, he was initiated by Swami Brahma Swarupananda, who visited his ashram on countless occasions. And he studied with him in the, well, there his order came in the Ramakrishna. That was his guru he initiated with. And there were the Ramakrishna Vivekananda tradition was dominant. And no coincidence, you all are sitting in the Shri Parameshwari Durga Devi Ashram. This line goes way back to Ramakrishna Paramahansa. Those of you who will be familiar with him, you know, he was a great bhakta of Durga Mata, Kali Mata. So intense was his devotion that the Divine Mother would manifest in person with him. If you all do research, it's the Gospel of Ramakrishna, you get all the information on his life, his teachings. Swami Vivekananda was one of his main guru. Swami Brahmananda, along with him, both of them were initiated by and both were two of his main disciples. Our lineage traces back to the lineage of Swami Brahmananda, who was the god brother of Swami Vivekananda. And just a synopsis, we thought we'd do a lot for our Guru. We hope we didn't do injustice. I mean, there's so much more we could expand into, but time doesn't permit. I thank you for this opportunity to serve you, Guruji. Shri Sadgurunath Maharaj Ki Jai.
Okay, so you all should be very proud of the lineage that we all come from, especially the disciples of Guruji, and we should walk that path very carefully and steadily. So at this point, we would like to go back to bhajans. Okay, so we'll join Veneramji.
Nandalala Krishna Murari Teri charayon pe balihari Tu hi ras rachaya Tu hi hai Gopala Tu hi murli wala Tu hi girirari Nandalala Krishna Murari Teri charayon pe balihari Krishna Murari Krishna Durge, Durge, Jai Ma Durge, Durge Shakti Ambe Ma, Durge Shakti Ambe Ma, Durge, Durge, Jai Ma Durge, Durge Shakti Ambe Ma, Durge Shakti Ambe Ma. आत्मादि शक्ति दुर्गी आंटी अम्बे माता जय 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 मां शक्ति मां दुर्गे दुर्गे जय मां दुर्गे दुर्गे शक्ति अम्बे मां दुर्गे शक्ति अम्बे
Principal Jaganambika Mata Ki Jai. So let us all stand as we have our concluding Arati. So let us clasp our hands together and close our eyes. Let us concentrate on the chanting form of Bhagavan Shri Krishna as we perform that sacred Arati. Sajayam Sumurketanam Vajayotam Viharnevashya Trailokya Jirava Yanitani Jamani Janmantara Kritani Cha Karikani Vinashyanti Pradakshanam As we come to an end of the night's devotion, we give thanks to God for the opportunity to congregate, to engage in our puja, our satsang, our bhajan and kirtan. We seek forgiveness if there may be any errors committed. Lastly, we ask to have our desires fulfilled, all obstacles removed from our daily life. Mangalam Bhagavan Vishnu, Mangalam Garudatvaja, Mangalam Pundarikaksha, Mangalaya Tanurhari. Tvameva Mata, Sapita, Tvameva, Tvameva Bandhu, Jasika, Tvameva, त्वमेव वेद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव ॐ मन्त्रहीनं क्रियाहीनं भक्तिहीनं जनार्दनं यत्पूजितं मया देव परिपूर्णं तरस्तु मे कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभाव्य करोमि यद्यत् सकलं तरस्मै नारायणेति समर्पयामि नारायणेति समर्पयामि
श्री नारायण
Top of your voices as loudly as you can. Let's proclaim victory for our way of life and establish firmly and confidently our presence and identity. Principal Gajanan Swami ki Jai, Umapati Mahadev ki Jai, Putra Hanuman ki Jai, Namika Durga Mata ki Jai, Satguru Maharaj ki Jai, Satyanarayan Swami ki Jai, Principal Shri Satya Sanatan Dharma ki Jai. Jai Jai, sit down. Take your seats. Please remain seated for a little while. Aarti will pass around. After Aarti, your meals are on the outside. So while you're waiting for that, just a reminder again, tomorrow, after Surat Puja done, we'll be having Govardhan Puja. For those of you who want to come and do your offering, feel free to do so. We start promptly at 6 p.m. with Govardhan Puja.